So, this is part 3 of Mr. Arizona and the jail shenanigans. So, I think I left off where he had sent me this huge packet of papers. And the papers had his, the, what do you call it? The motion, not the motion, but the legal document of why he was suing the state that he had lived in. And I did kind of skim through it. I really didn't read all of it because I don't understand all of the legal mumbo jumbo. I'm more of a medical person, not a legal person. So I did see the part where it said an unspecified amount of money that they were suing and asking for, which to me did not indicate that you were going to become a millionaire, billionaire, thousandaire, whatever you want to call it, if you won that case. I think that they just didn't know what amount of money to put because the case wasn't a surefire thing. It was going to take some fight. And I think that's what the unspecified amount meant. So he contacted me and I asked, why did you send me this packet of papers? And he begged me to find an attorney that would take those papers and represent him. Now, he didn't ask for me to retain the attorney. He just said to call them up and have them call him in the facility. And I had the paperwork so that I can forward it to them via fax, mail, email, whatever. So I found one and I didn't put much into it because he made it sound like he really and truly needed this help. Okay. And that he was really in the bind. And, like all of these things were stacking up against him. And, he needed some help and he didn't have anybody. He was by himself and yada, yada. And now, his hands were tired because he was, locked up and, and this and that. So I was just like, okay, I'll make a couple calls and see if I can get somebody to call you. That's all you can do. So I found somebody that was willing to give him a call because somebody else tipped me off on something. This one attorney looked him up really quick and said, I'm not going to help him because he's been in so much trouble. This is not even worth the time or the effort. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. Thanks for letting me know. Move on to the next one. So when the next guy claimed that he was going to call him and, get in touch with him in there or whatever, I said, okay, let me look it up. Let me look him up and see how much trouble he's been in over the years. Public record. So that's why I say I'm a good investigator. You can look up anybody's jail records and court records if you have a name, date of birth, and either the opposing party, or sometimes you probably don't even need the opposing party. You can also look and see who's been locked up, what they've been locked up for, and how long they've been in there. Because let me tell you, bruh man David Zimmerman that was in the first video, he is actually in jail now. I'm assuming that's him from the video. It shocks me to see that he has on jewelry and looks like street clothes, but that could have been when he was first initially locked up and they had not taken that stuff from him. I don't know. I don't know how Idaho goes because that's Idaho. I think that was Idaho where he was locked up, but he's in there and he's not going to be released until September 2025 because he's in there for grand theft. Now, there is no excuse why anybody should be acting like they don't know why a person has been locked up or what's going on or when they're going to court or, if they've been to court or any of that. Because you can look it up. I looked dude up, Mr. Arizona. Just like I said, I looked up Mr. Zimmerman in the other video advertising himself in jail. I looked up Mr. Arizona. Baby, when I tell you, it was a long list of things that he had been back and forth to court for and locked up, because it'll say where the person was residing at the time of court, and if the resident address states the jail, then that means they were in jail. And it was like 2 or 3 pages that I was just strumming through, and I was clicking on each one, just reading all of the stuff. And I'm like, son of a bitch. This dude been getting in jail and in trouble I don't know how many times. And guess what? DUI, DWI. So we have a real drinking problem. No wonder you drank up all my stuff. So I'm like, okay. And what he had to turn himself in for was related to drinking and driving, suspended license, um, was on probation, and that was a probation violation. So, and I believe, I don't know if it was like I don't know, like if it was a second or third strike or something like that when it comes to DUIs and DWIs. So I looked and I was like, oh, he gonna be in here for a minute. And then I started thinking more and more about this "the police woke me up" story. And with the gun in my face, blah, blah, blah. Because not only could I see his information, but I could see the wife's information. The so-called "we're not together, we're estranged, and we're not staying in the same place" and all this other stuff. Oh, honey, it was evictions on there. She had a bunch of stuff she was going back and forth to court about, um, uh, stuff going on with the kids and custody, and some stuff on there about theft. It was like spin the wheel. That's what they had for violations and was being sued for and arrested for and all of this. So I said, I think I'm gathering what really happened and why he ran to Georgia. So, first of all, I know he ran because he thought that I was going to be so head over heels, because him and I were back in touch with one another, that we were going to fulfill this high school dream and we were going to be together and I was going to accept him by any means, and that I would have been the same girl that you dated when I was 15, 16 years old. Dude, this little tinkum's, honey, let me tell you. So I contacted him, and what I was also beginning to notice was I was spending a little bit too much money in contacting this dude back and forth and carrying on this conversation and this I don't even know if you'd even call it a relationship, this situationship that was going on. And again, I was hiding it because I knew this was messy. This was not me. I should not be involved in this whatsoever. Craziness, okay? Craziness. Let me tell you in the next video.